Greeting everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Halytha Giok alias Lily Natasha Abdullah and currently teaching at SMK Tebobon, Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Today, I would like to present an action research of mine entitled Project-Based Learning Movement Control Order Version Approach, how effective it is in improving students' response and understanding to a literature text in the new norm class. Firstly, let me give a short introduction of what is Project-Based Learning Movement Control Order Version. Well, to be specific, it was introduced by JPN Sabah in MCO1 as an alternative to be implemented to all schools in Sabah. Compared to the original version, this was a simplified version of the original PBL, and this focused more on students doing the task with their parents and resource materials convenience as the top priority, and based on individual work tasks. Well, when I first introduced my action research, I decided to introduce this PBL MCO version because of a few issues. First, understanding of chapters, content, and remembering the events and incidents in a novel is crucial in order to be able to answer the question given in the exam. Students do not always read the chapters, thus it resulted in incompetence to identify and give possible evidence in their response to the question. Some students are not really interested or involved that much in online class scheduled for them, thus resulted in quite bad attendance. So I use PBL MCO version as a way to improve all these issues matters. Well, I based my study to these two reviews given by, the first one is Bell, 2016. He mentioned that project-based learning is a key strategy for creating independent thinkers and learners. And Almula 2020 in his recent study mentioned that PBL technique improves students' engagement by enabling knowledge and information sharing and discussion. And PBL approach is highly recommended for educational use by students and should be encouraged in schools and universities. So my theoretical framework is just a short note. My study framework is based on Chemist and McTaggart, where I started by reflecting on my teaching and learning in class, made the planning of what should be done, reflected on the results, and do my observation and took action to any part that I could help for my students. So this is the base framework of my study. Well, my objectives, okay? So these were my objectives based on the issue I noticed happening in my class. My general objective is to increase the students' understanding of SPM literature text better. In this case, is Captain Nobody by written by Dean Pitchford. And the specific objectives is the effectiveness of PBL MCO version in improving students' response to a literature class, to improve students' engagement to online classes compared to everyday online class schedules, and of course, motivating and encouraging students to produce a digital presentation of their own efforts by using the internet text material. So with all these objectives, it will be able to help my main reasons of using PBL MCO version in my class. Well, this is my hypothesis where I want to see how effective PBL MCO version approach in improving students' response and understanding to a literature text. So in this particular study, I will concentrate on the novel Captain Nobody by Dean Pitchford. Well, so my methodology were data taken for my diagnostic test, which in this case I use a 2016 clone SPM literature question as my tag of value to see my students' performance in the writing of the answer. Next, I use class assessment test to see my students' achievement in their literature answer after the introduction of PBL MCO version. And also from my wall group discussion, so I will be able to see my student response and involvements in the lesson, plus the attendance, also the daily attendance poll on the wall group, and also their product presentation. Okay, my next stage in the study is the implementation of the project using a Telegram app Telegram wall group. As I mentioned earlier, I introduced PBL MCO version during the MCO1. So every lesson were done online, and activities all 100% using class wall group as the platform of all information. So if you can see in this slide, I started with sharing PBL MCO version project details on the wall group. So you can see at the center is the project question, where I took a clone question, a clone SPM question 2016 for the student to answer in the project. So they will start with wall group discussion of the project assigned to them on the wall group. Okay, student did their internet research, PM the discussion, wall group discussions, and some with family members. Students prepared their digital presentation, pre-digital presentation sneak peek to check any missing of important events, presentation of learning, POL on the wall group. At this time also, during this project implementation also, I make sure that they have answered the curriculum framing question, because this is one of the most important elements in a project based learning. And also at the end, sharing session between the teachers and students on the experience they have learned all through the process of PBL. So all this take 3 weeks to complete until the end. Yeah. So at the end of the project, result is taken from the first comparison between the diagnostic test and the class assessment test. We can see here in this slide that students' scoring marks in class assessment test have increased compared to the marks they performed in the diagnostic test earlier. And in the SPM 2020 examination, the students have shown impressive grades in their English language paper. Next is the sample of attendance progress results, comparing the class attendance with other classes during the implementation of the project. It is higher and better attendance compared to other classes. I think it might be because the activities during the project based learning implementation has captured their interest. Well, this is the sample products of my students. Some essay is presented in forms of PowerPoint, video recording, also Polton app, wall group essay writing, self-service presentation, and also, and some use a mind map presentation, some use self video recording, handwritten essay. Okay, which very creative and interesting. As a conclusion, I will continue to use PBL approach in my class, be it the original PBL or the MCO version, because of this reason. First is its effectiveness, exciting opportunity for students to be creative. It's supporting the 21st century skills, capture great interest of the students, and they engage actively on wall class discussion. Well, for future recommendation, I will try to have more interactive intervention approaches, like writing a journal or creating a website using viral app like TikTok video as a presentation platform, like the example that I've given here. I'm working it with my students now, and I hope that I will be able to write another action research in the future. So, well, that is all for today. Thank you very much for listening. Have a nice day. Thank you.